All right, welcome everyone to Texas Treasures. I have my friend here, Val. Valamilk is her YouTube channel, and by the way, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you check out her channel and subscribe. I
There's
don't know.
there's no new content there, but
Well,
go subscribe. It's coming.
that was all right. That was my next question. And Clay, we were talking about this. We do really do enjoy your content. And I know you took a hiatus, and then you made a couple videos. And there's been a lull. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but is there going to be more content coming?
There's videos recorded. It's just finding the motivation to edit them because that takes so much time. I don't think people realize how much time editing takes. And I don't know, I just feel weird uploading again. I don't feel the same. I won't deep dive into that, but I am working on it. There are videos recorded.
All right. Well, and if you need help with editing, we can talk off once we're not live. I actually hired an editor because I am not a good editor at all, and I know you put a lot more effort into your videos and editing, but I do have a relatively cheap, actually a cheap editor that he's looking for some work beyond me because I'm just using him part time.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about that later if you're interested.
Okay.
What's up, Alton? Scott, thanks for joining us. And Misha Renee, I'm not familiar, but thanks for dropping by, Misha.
Oh, hi, Misha.
Okay, that's one of
Yeah.
your followers that wants your content. All right, so this is my thought. Val's going to be on weekly, and the big premise is how to grow an eBay store almost from scratch. Val does have an eBay store. It's not completely from scratch, but it's relatively small. And I know she's been interested in that, and I want to help her. And any viewers that have questions related to growing an eBay store, make sure drop those in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Today we want to I know, Val, you have experience on Poshmark.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a good way to start this, if you want to share a little bit about your Poshmark experience, maybe even what got you into reselling, and then why you're thinking about wanting to grow your eBay store. That might be a good starting point.
Okay. Well, I think this summer is going to be year 5 of reselling on Poshmark. I think my reasoning is kind of like everybody else's, just like crappy job or you're like sick and tired of your boss. So that's why I started reselling. Poshmark, well, actually, I guess I found out about Poshmark because I watch a lot of thrifting videos. Or at least I used to watch a lot of thrifting videos. Not as a reseller, just as somebody who likes to see other people shop and thrift. And so I realized that you could actually make money selling this stuff that you thrift. And yeah, that's how I got started on Poshmark. eBay, Macari, Depop, all of those other ones. I wanted to try, but I was afraid of shipping because Poshmark, if you do Poshmark, it's like super simple and like I honestly feel like anybody can do Poshmark. So eBay, I finally stepped into that. What was this? This last year? Or not even that long ago, months ago probably, I started doing eBay. And it wasn't that hard, but I'm still pretty confused on what I'm doing. Literally, I kind of just copy and paste my Poshmark stuff over because I don't want to use I don't even know what you guys call them, like those programs or apps that help you to cross list.
Like
Because
list
aren't
perfectly.
Yeah, don't those cost money?
Yeah, they do.
I feel like I'm not on that level yet, so I'm just doing it myself right now. And I'm doing, and I feel so stupid saying this, but like I'm only doing kind of like lightweight items because I'm just shipping with flat rate envelopes because it's simple. And I
Right.
figure I can't mess that up. So far, I haven't messed that up. I don't know how many sales I have. I can look at my eBay. It's just a handful of sales, but so far it's all gone pretty good. There was one item I had that I couldn't put into that envelope, and I was like, crap, what the heck am I supposed to do now? I watched a few videos, Steve Pick and Roll. Like he had a lot of really good videos on how to do it. So I ended up, I wouldn't say I lost money. I just had to pay shipping out of my pocket since I couldn't shove it into that envelope.
Right.
And
Well,
like, yeah, all of that was just really confusing to me.
no, I get it, and I think Poshmark, and I'll give there's pros and cons to Poshmark, right? Poshmark,
Mhm.
one of the pros is it's very easy to list. There's not as much to fill out. You don't have to worry about the shipping. You can everything's sent priority. You can get the free priority boxes. So
Right.
those are advantages to Poshmark. I
Mm-hmm.
think the disadvantages, and it kind of depends on your goals too, right? Um, like I heard the statistic that eBay does more sales in one day than Poshmark does in the entire year. So
Mm-hmm.
and I've sold on both. And don't get me wrong, I do appreciate Poshmark, and I know some items will sell for more over there. But
Mm-hmm.
like for me, I'm trying to grow a massive eBay store, and I know I can make way more by focusing on eBay than Poshmark. So that's where I'm going. And if shipping is one of your concerns,
Mm-hmm.
we won't get into it this week, but that's definitely, we can spend an episode on shipping. We can get you up to speed and take away that fear, because I know you're not the only one. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people have had that. I've seen that that I guess that concern pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right. So currently, which platforms are you currently selling on?
Poshmark, that's the one I've been on for almost 5 years now. eBay a few months, and I did have a few listings on Mercari, but I just don't think Mercari's for me. And I looked into Depop, and I just feel like I don't know, maybe I don't thrift the right stuff. I feel like that's more of a younger age group, and they're maybe not looking to spend as much. I know some stuff can go for more over there, but I don't know. I just like they take their pictures differently. All the videos I watched on people giving tutorials, it's like, oh, I like to model it and style it like this. And like their keywords are like hot bay and like weird, like young lingo that like I know nothing about. So I took down my listings. I was like, I don't even want to have to worry about selling something over there and not take it down somewhere else. So I just deleted Macari.
Well, and that's a great point. And I've been through this. I've actually used List Perfectly,
Mhm.
and there at different points I've sold on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, Depop for just a little bit.
Mhm.
Like you, I was out on Depop. Even Grailed. Like I've tried a lot of them, but like I'm in Tech and Sports group, and like yeah, I in daily refinement, and I kind of follow their model of focusing focusing on one area, because that way you can maximize the results.
Mhm.
Um, and I think eBay is the perfect platform for that. So I think as you have more success on that platform, then you can consider, maybe weaving out the other ones. We have a lot of discussion in the group, but let me give you an example. So we have in our group, we have a lot of different subgroups, and we have calls. Like I lead a book club call where, like, and we've kind of talked about this, Val, in the past, like Atomic Habits and different books to help you grow as a person and as a reseller.
Mhm.
But we have a call every Tuesday in the shoe. It's called the shoe call, and I sell pre-owned clothing and shoes. Those are my two niches or niches.
Mhm.
And anybody that follows YouTube, Instagram, follows the used shoe scene knows about Renzi. And Renzi is great. Like you can learn a lot, and I have learned a lot from Renzi. But Renzi shares all of his information, and he shared his gross sales. And on Poshmark, it's basically flattened out at a little bit over 200,000 per year gross, which is a lot of money, albeit, but they're trying to grow it, and
Mhm.
they've hit a cap. And we talked about this in the group. The reason you're going to have a cap is you can only ship.
Oh, he's gone.
Okay, all right. Gotta love that. But let me try to start that again.
I'm gonna mute you for just 1 second. so I can open up YouTube without it echoing.
Okay.
So one sec, let me open this.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm always having internet problems.
Okay.
So frustrating. But anyway, like they're capped out at about 200,000 per year gross, which is a lot of money, but they want to make more. And so we had this big discussion in our group about the pros and cons of cross listing. And if your goal is to make, say, more than 200,000 gross per year, you would be better off not cross listing because of the limitations that Poshmark has. And the other thing is, when something sells on one platform, you've got to take it off all the others. You could double sell, you're wasting time. All that time could be spent getting more listings on one big platform like eBay where you can get more money. I don't know where I was going. I just kind of rambled about that. But cross listing, if you're small, it maybe makes more sense. But if you want to get big, it can be an issue. Oh my gosh. And let me catch up on the chat then. All right. So you're currently on a lot of different platforms. You want to get onto eBay. You're doing it all manually, correct?
Yes.
All right. And
copy and paste.
copy and paste. All right. Akeisha wants to know like how many listings you have, or do y'all have in your store? I know you have a lot more in Poshmark. Do you want to tackle that question, Val?
Yeah, let me see how many I have active. How do I get there? I didn't have very many in my eBay, but luckily, like they're selling as I put them up there, so that's good. How do I even look on here?
Let me give Alton a wrench. If I can even know how to give a wrench.
Right.
There's a star button now. What does that mean?
Star button. I don't know.
I gotta get my YouTube game up.
Account settings. No, how do I get there? My sales. Oh my goodness.
Are you on Poshmark?
I'm here 4.5 years. Oh yeah. Let me look where my stats are. There we are. Posh stats. Ooh. Active listings 666.
Ooh.
I need to list something real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh my gosh. You the devil. Scary. So she's got 666. And I think on eBay it's around 10 or less because I did take a look at it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna do here in a minute. We're gonna take a look at Val's store.
So I have sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead.
17 active and 1 unsold, which I just learned yesterday what unsold is. Because in my brain I was like, 1 unsold. No, I have 17 unsold things here.
Okay.
Nope,
so obviously Poshmark is much bigger than eBay, but that's the whole point. We're gonna get your eBay store up and running. And one of the things about eBay, their algorithm, they want consistency, like daily listings. And we have so many episodes we can cover. We can talk about traffic and all that good jazz. So what are your goals? We're at the beginning of 2022. Like what are you wanting this year to look like as far as reselling?
Consistency, which I don't know if it was in a stream or if I was just chatting with you and Clay, but I was saying that I wanted to list 15 items a day onto Poshmark. But me being the person I am, I'm an all or nothing kind of person. So if on my rack of stuff to photograph, if there's like 30, I'm going to photograph them all. I'm not going to do 15. And then I get burned out and like really sore at the end of the day. But I found that 15 is like the sweet spot. I can photograph. I'm not sore. I have enough time to measure and put them into inventory and list them all in one day. And it's like, I'm mentally okay at the end of the day with 15 listings, but I don't do that. I push myself like, well, if I'm going to do 15, I might as well do the whole rack of clothes. So consistency with not just like making myself work, but like not pushing myself beyond what I'm mentally and like physically capable of doing and not going crazy.
Right. Okay. So I think what we'll want to do, like listing it's kind of like running or weight training or anything. There is a physical element to it and there's a mental element to it, and you can get tired. But like what I did, like I was doing 20 a day. Of course, I'm full time, and then each week that I hit my listing goal, I go up 1 per day per week. which is gradual.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm currently at 31 a day, but I'm only really getting Monday through Friday done. And I want 31 a day, 7 days, but I want to get all that work done in 5 days, which we'll talk about this at a later time about draft banks and how we can build you up where you want to be, where it doesn't overwhelm you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you try to list too many too fast, and what happens is when you don't hit those numbers, if you're like me, you'll kind of get bummed out, and then that creates a vicious cycle. So I think we can get you to that 15 a day, and maybe we even pick a smaller number and we build a draft bank, because there's some days where things come up and you can't get your listings, but if you have a draft bank and it's waiting for you, you can just launch those in the morning and go about your day. So yeah, I think we can get you there. All right, so 15 a day is the goal. Let's do this. Let's go ahead, and I've got your store pulled up, so we're going to take a look at it. So let me share my screen. Where you at, Scott? I know Scott loves sharing screens. Okay.
And if I'm cross listing, I'm okay with a lower number per week to like even equal itself out to 15 total. So like if I did 10 on Posh, and then because cross listing, even if I'm doing my copy and pasting, doesn't take me that long on eBay. I mean, it takes me a little long because I'm not sure. We'll get to that, but like all the boxes I'm supposed to fill out, because that's nothing like Poshmark.
Right, and I think we could probably talk about like which platforms you really want to sell on, and like what what's the value in that, because there is a mental cost to cross listing and being spread out on multiple tabs, and it can wear you out. So just being on one or maybe a couple of platforms might be better. Okay, so here is Valamilk store, and let's see, we have items for sale. We have 17. So let's take a peek at these. You got vintage Harley Davidson, and you're primarily clothing too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like your background. We have Eileen Fisher, Lulu Rowe, Adidas, a bright skirt. You got some cool vintage Harley tees. All right, let's look at this one. I like your background. Is that real brick, or is that a background?
It's peel and stick wallpaper. Did it myself.
Ooh,
it was really hard.
Okay, I like that, because the gray, there's a lot of questions, white or gray. The gray, I think, shows the best true color of the item.
That's why I picked it. Clay said that you recommended he use a gray backdrop, so I had the choice of gray brick or white brick, so I went with the gray one.
I like it. It's a nice shirt. And you're sourcing primarily at the bins, correct?
Yeah, this one was a garage sale, but yeah, the bins is.
Dang, you got that at a garage sale? All right, so pictures. All right, so when I think about a listing, like I made a video on the eBay quality listing report, and eBay actually measures you on different items, which affect the search algorithm. And pictures, number of pictures is one of them, and it looks like you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got a lot of pictures, which is good. 7, 8. So you got 10 to 12. So that's good for the buyer. The colors, you see the true accuracy of the colors. That's good. Let's look at your title. Vintage Harley Davidson. Ooh, I don't know that word. Hulebeck, 1988 Eagle Flag Fortune and Sacred Honor T-shirt. Okay. So now keep in mind, I'm not trying to tell you how to do things. I'm just going to give suggestions. And a lot of this I've learned from Tech and Sports or Daily Refinement. And the one about title, this actually comes directly from eBay. And when the reason that the title is important, that's one of the the ways people can search and find your item. And the way eBay recommends it is the on clothing, right? The brand first, what it is, which I guess will be the category, um, gender, size, then all the other keywords. Now
Okay.
there are some times where you might want to deviate from that, but that's generally the way to go. So in this case, now I do think vintage you'd want to use that first because that's
Okay.
important with Harley Davidson. So vintage Harley Davidson, and so it would then be, what is it? A t-shirt.
Okay.
Um, because you also got to ask yourself, like, when people are searching, what are they most likely? They're most likely going to search vintage Harley Davidson t-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
and with t-shirt being at the back end, that's probably affecting your search placement. So I'd move that up. Um, and then we don't even have the sizing. So I'm assuming this is men's and
Yeah, size
men's
large.
size large. And we also go work on your what do you call this? Your description,
Okay.
because this is hard to read. So we can work on
Copy and
that too.
paste.
And that might be why it hasn't sold. So vintage Harley Davidson t-shirt,
Okay.
men's. You don't have to use the word size large. Men's large.
Okay.
Then all the other ones, right? 1988. What is this? Some of the keywords you have in there: the eagle, flag, fortune, single stitch, made in USA or USA made would probably be a good keyword there. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Do you spell out large or
I do, because I think that's what people search for.
okay?
And when we get to the item specifics, like when you fill out these item specifics, see the size L, that will show up, the L for large in the item specific. So
Okay.
you've kind of got two different search things happening at once. You've got the title, but you also have item specifics, which show up on the left hand when people are searching. And then, like, your description. Let me do this. Let me show you, and not that mine are perfect, but let me just kind of contrast that with one of my listings that I just put up. Okay, we can look at this one, and I'll kind of walk you through it. All right, so what, I've got 11 pictures. I have the white background, even though I do think I might switch to gray, but I don't think that's that important. White or gray is fine. So on the title, I have Polo Ralph Lauren. What it is, it's a shirt, men's, and then the size extra large, and then the other keywords. Blake is the style. It's a button down short sleeve pink, which a lot of that comes from right here. And SKU, and we could talk about inventory. We can dig into a lot of this on future calls, like what's your inventory system. I use a numeric inventory SKU, just a short blurb in the condition description, good condition, see pics. Now, when you get to the item specifics, you have to fill out all the required, which are pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the recommended, the ones that are relevant, like I'll do material, closures of button, regular fit, button down with a collar. And so my description is really short and sweet. I copy and paste the title and put it down here. And I've created a template, which we can talk about on another episode. eBay allows you to create templates.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just put the chest measurement and the length measurement for shirts, and I put a short description on shipping. I want people to know that I ship same or next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pricing is down here. So let's go back to yours. Because when I look at this, it hurts my head. So in summary, and then we can look at pricing. Now, a vintage Harley shirt, there's a lot that goes into that, and we can talk about, let's talk about that. Let me close the screen. Stop that. Pricing. So what type of pricing model are you looking for? Like what is your goals? Are you and we did a And by the way, guys, check out Reseller Roundtable. We have a podcast. Addicted to Hustle in the chat. Dumpster Diver Dad are also in there. We every Thursday night we record that, and you can find us on Spotify and other places. And we had a an episode where we talked about fast nickel versus slow dime and your pricing strategy. What type of pricing strategy are you looking at, Val?
Well, I have everything in my closet. Like, I mean, I have the $400 Harley t-shirts down to like a $15. I didn't mean to pick that up, but here it is in my Poshmark closet type things.
Right.
But on Poshmark, I list things probably about $15, depending on the item. Like if it's a common like Columbia shirt or something, I'll go like $15 above what the mid range of what they're selling for, so they have room for offers. But like on eBay, I honestly had no idea how to price stuff. I think all of those Harley shirts that I have sold on Poshmark. And I don't know if people on eBay, are they less likely to send offers? Because like
No.
no.
So, all right. Depending on your level, like, do you have an eBay store or do you just have the basic?
Just the basic.
Okay. So if eventually you move up to the eBay store, well, here they offer the service called Terapeak, which here let me share the screen again, and I'll just kind of show you what that looks like. And what Terapeak does is it pulls eBay sold data going back a full year, up to a full year. And so it's a really good tool to see what things have been selling for. All right, is that showing up on the screen, Val?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the eBay Seller Hub, and we can go over this one of these in a different episode. There's just so much on eBay. And I think that's why I like eBay. There's just so much to it. Under Terapeak product research, you have a search bar. So if we put vintage Harley Davidson, oh, I'm gonna spell Davidson t-shirt, and we can look the past 365 days. We could also do it the past 90 days. Let's do the past 90 days first. Okay, and then here you could sort any of these categories. I'm going to do all categories. I am going to select used condition. And you can see how many that have sold in the past 90 days on eBay. Almost 18,000 have sold. That is crazy. That's a lot of volume. And they give us a lot of data, right? Well, actually, this is the past year. This is the past year. But that's still a lot. The average sold price is $38. Now, there is a wide range, anywhere from 1 cent to $1,700.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you the average shipping, the percentage of people who do free shipping, and the total. Like there have been almost $700,000 worth of Harley Davidson vintage T-shirts sold. And if we switch it to 90 days, it'll also give us the sell-through rate. So that's at about 13%. So when I'm listing items now, a vintage Harley Davidson shirt is different than a Polo Ralph Lauren or a pair of American Eagle jeans or a pair of Levi's 550. So you'd want to spend a little bit more time on that. But like if this was a bread and butter item, like a pair of jeans, what I typically do is I quickly, if it's not something that I've sold a lot of, I would look at this average sold price and then price it accordingly. Because if you're too far out of the market, your item will never sell.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could actually look at some of these that have sold, right? And I've got it. You could sort it from highest to lowest. Wow, look at this one, sold for $1,300. You know, we might need to put in some more keywords. Like what made this one so used but not used up? Okay, I like that. What was the keywords on yours? Do you remember? Here, let's see. I can pull it back up. So yours, we have mutually pledge our lives. trying to think what those keywords. And you said 88 Black Kills. Maybe we can try the words pledge our lives. I don't know. Because what makes one Harley Davidson? Oh, no, that one was nothing. Maybe the year. Okay, so 1988 Harley Davidson shirts now sell on average for $63 with a pretty big range too. And like, I'm not an expert on vintage Harley Davidson t-shirts, so I don't know. Like, what I would do on this one is I would probably look to see if I could find one similar to yours. And
I
also
sold that
you could
shirt before.
Oh, have you? This
That
one?
one you just had up, I've sold that one before.
For how much? Do you remember?
$3.90.
Okay. Well, you probably know more about vintage Harleys than I do. But you can see all this data, so you could go through this. And I guess it depends, right? Like, if you want to move it fast, you could price it at the $68 range or lower, and it would probably sell pretty quickly. The higher you price it, the longer it's probably going to sell. But that's where your knowledge of the product's going to come in on. Yeah, I think like on this one, I would definitely rework the title. The price might be okay. Your offer, you do best offers, which is good. I personally don't think you need to do free shipping, because when you think about it on pre-owned items, like, there's not going to be a lot of this exact t-shirts on there. So whoever wants this t-shirt is not going to mind paying, $5.99 shipping for first class. And we could talk about return policies. Gosh, there's so much we could get into, and I don't want to like blow your mind at one time. But we could talk about shipping and reasons to not offer free shipping in this case.
Okay. See, my thinking was they're going to be paying a lot. I didn't want them to have to be paying shipping on top of that, but you make a good point. If they want this rare t-shirt, $5 is nothing.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to prevent them from buying it.
And then as having a regular eBay, not a store, but just the normal free whatever eBay, do I have access to that screen you were just at with all of the graphs and information, or do I have to have a store to get that?
You have to have a store to get that. I don't think you need a store right at the beginning, but I think as we work with your store and we start to make money on it, I do think you'll want to boost up to an eBay store, because there's a lot of benefits. Number one, you get the Terapeak that we just saw, which is a very useful tool. They also give you coupons that you can use on supplies like polymailers and boxes and things like that, which is valuable. And if you're wanting to, which kind of goes back to your goals, if you want to build up a big eBay store, then you definitely want to use an eBay store. You want to use the eBay store subscription. It also will lower some of your final value fees. You can get credits and different things. So I wouldn't say you have to start with it, but eventually it would be useful.
Do you know what the cap is for the free one? Is it like 200 or something?
I don't know. It's been so long since I only stayed with the free one for a very short period of time, and then I went to the paid store. I'm currently, I think, at the middle level. There's one underneath me. The one I have, I think you get up to 10,000 free listings. That's kind of the cap, but we can look at that, I guess, once we start getting some sales. Misha says, I don't think you should ever do free shipping unless you're competing with it. Yeah, I agree, Misha. So maybe that's something also to change it to.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go change those.
Yeah, we probably need to have an episode where we just look at shipping, because there's so many options. And you already mentioned that was one of the things preventing you, calculated versus flat rate. I'm a fan of flat rate shipping, so we could talk about that. What shipping supplies do you need for that? The good thing about clothing, you really only need a few things. Like, I have poly bags I have 1 or 2 boxes, and the rest of them are going to be the priority boxes, like that. Like if you sell shoes, the shoe box, the flat rate envelope, and the padded flat rate envelope, and that mostly will cover your shipping needs.
Mm-hmm.
And since you sell on Poshmark, you are, there's are you shipping yours out in priority boxes, or you use them poly bags on Poshmark?
I use whatever. I use both.
Whatever. Okay. Yeah. So, just makes
Yeah.
me realize like how much more there is to eBay versus Poshmark.
Yeah.
But
Poshmark, whatever it fits in, that's what it gets shipped in, because I don't have to give it a second thought or weigh it or anything.
right. But like for example, when I ship, I do flat rate shipping. There's only a couple like there's a couple different tiers. If it's a pound or less, it can go first class.
Mm-hmm.
And then so for first class shipping, like if I'm like that shirt I listed, I'm gonna do $5.99 flat rate. And it will be less than that for the actual shipping cost. And I know that will get anywhere in the US. If it's a pound or more, so like most jeans, shoes, well, if it's jeans, I'm charging $8.99 flat rate because it's going to go into one of these flat rate cardboard envelopes. And if it's a little bit bigger than that, then I use the flat rate padded envelope. And some items, eBay will let you do the cubic shipping, and then I use these poly bags for cubic shipping. And that covers between these 3 items, this will cover, and I have the big 14 by 19 poly also for like jackets and things. So between these 4, that's going to cover 95 to 98% of my shipping needs. And then I use you could use either the medium flat rate shipping box, or I use a large priority 12 by 12 by 8, which I'll put like cowboy boots and things like that in there.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to overwhelm you with that, but we can definitely get that figured out.
Yeah, we can have a whole episode on shipping. I have a lot of questions, but I'll save those for the shipping.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe. Well, what do you think? Maybe we can plan out next week. Do you have you probably got a lot of questions about eBay. Is there one category, and I don't want to put you on the spot. If not, we can talk off camera. But what do you think is the one area that you'd like to hit next?
The shipping.
Shipping. Okay.
Like
All
I've
right.
shipped a handful of things so far, and like I said, only one of them I think I did wrong on my end. Like it got there and it got there just fine, but it could have went better, and I could have saved $2 or $3.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about shipping, and we'll dig into that. But just as an overview, you can actually, I usually make a little bit of money on shipping. Sometimes I'll lose a little bit because I do flat rate. And an advantage to you, because for you, is that you're in Colorado, so you're kind of in this almost in the center of the country. So that's going to be an advantage to you. For me in Texas, when I ship up to the Northeast, that's usually when it's going to cost me the most, or to California because of the distance and the different zones. But yeah, let's tackle shipping next week. And any questions that you have specifically, but I'll give you an overview. We can also do you order priority boxes through USPS?
Yeah.
Okay, so you already know how to do that. That's good. And we could talk about the different, do you, what size poly bags do you currently have?
What are they at?
Like 12,
12?
15?
I have all the sizes actually.
Okay, so you're good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, chosen goods reseller is correct. Every penny counts when it comes to shipping. And another thing about shipping, and we'll talk about this in more detail, is that eBay offers international shipping, and I would probably say 5%. So maybe 1 out of every 20 orders of mine goes international, and there's a couple of different options with that. So that's definitely a market that you can tap into. especially with vintage items like
Mhm.
Japan. Man, I get a lot of international orders going to Japan with like vintage jeans and different things.
Mhm.
And so being able to access those markets, I think will be a big
Yeah.
boost for
And that's
you.
because Poshmark doesn't do that. So that's like a
No,
whole market they're missing out on.
right. And I know Poshmark Canada, like we have some people in the group that are in Canada, and apparently I don't know if there's less resellers up there. I know Jody. He's not in the chat today, but I know Jody's. I don't. He's in Canada
Mhm.
and he sells there, and they do pretty well. But they don't have it set up where you can ship to other Poshmark. Can you ship to Canada? I don't think you can even ship to Canada
Mm-mm.
on Poshmark, right?
Mm-mm.
No. So eBay definitely has that advantage. As Misha's saying, definitely should do international. It's easier than it seems, and we'll walk you through that. And there's a couple different levels. There's one that's super easy, the global shipping program, but even eBay's standard international is not hard, and you can definitely make money with that.
Mhm.
Let's see. Anybody in the chat have any questions, like on starting eBay? Do you have anything specifically, Val? I just wanted the first episode just to kind of see where you're at and kind of ease into it. But is there anything?
Yeah, I have a few things written down comparing or eBay
Okay.
versus Posh. So on Poshmark, when you list something and it comes in, it's just in. So when you search just in, yours is going to be at the top of whatever the person's searching. That's not how it is for eBay, right? That's what promoted listings are. Is that correct?
Well, actually, when you barely list an item on eBay, it shows up under newly listed,
Okay.
and it does get a temporary boost in the search algorithm. So it will show up higher in search. So you do get a boost
Okay.
on eBay. I guess similar to Poshmark, but I think the difference is on Poshmark, the default search algorithm is by just shared.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's another reason to use eBay over Poshmark. Is because with Poshmark you got to share, or get a sharing service, or most people aren't going to switch to the newly listed or the newly shared. I don't
Right.
think.
So is that what promoted listing does though? Is like the equivalent of boosting it to the top, kind of like in Poshmark?
So promoted listings, and we can do a whole episode on this too. Promoted listings is I think you have. Well, I don't think I know. You have to have a store, an eBay store, to
Okay.
use promoted listings. So that's another reason to use it. And what promoted listings is, you can you can choose a percentage anywhere from one. I don't think there's even a cap, from 1% up,
Mm-hmm.
and that, depending on that percentage, eBay will promote your listing higher in the search results. Like you have two categories. You've got organic, like if somebody types in vintage 1988 Harley Davidson pledge t-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
your t-shirt on eBay is going to show up high under organic because that's matching very closely to what they're searching for.
Okay.
But if you do promoted listings, even if they're not searching explicitly or their title search doesn't match, your item can still show up in search. Maybe they just search Harley Davidson t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the higher the percentage that you select, that theoretically the higher up in placement your item's going to show up in search. And let's say you did a 10% promoted listing. What that means is, if your item is found through the promoted listing search here, and let's I think this is easier to show on the screen. So let me do this again, and we'll do an example. All right, so if we're on eBay, let's say we're looking at, and typically you'll use this in a more crowded niche. So let's just say Levi's jeans 501. So on the search, matter of fact, you see this one at the very top? It's a new listing. So this one definitely got a boost. These that say sponsored. Okay, well, here's the point. This one is getting a double boost. It's a new listing and it's sponsored. If it says sponsored, that means they're using promoted listings.
Okay.
So is this person, you can see the top 4 search results are all promoted listings. These are all sponsored. This is a new listing that's not promoted. And so you can see that one's showing up high. Here's another new listed that's not promoted. This is a listing that's not new, nor is it promoted. But they kind of, there's sponsored. So these sponsored listings are getting higher placement because they are paying to get them promoted. Now, you don't actually have to pay that fee unless it sells.
Okay.
And there's different approaches to this. Like in our group, Tech and Sports, the biggest pre-owned clothing seller, he does his 10%, which is a lot, from the get-go. He doesn't. He says basically he doesn't want to spend time because he's listing 250 items a day, not by himself. He has a team, and so he doesn't want to spend the time thinking, should I promote this or should I not? So to make it easier, and everything about him is about efficiency, he promotes across the board at 10%. I tried that for a while. You will get a boost in search, but I found out that that's a little bit overkill. What I currently do is, because as we saw, a newly listed item gets a boost in search results, I think it's a waste to promote it at the very beginning. So I wait 30 days after it's been listed, and if it hasn't sold, then I will promote, and I'm promoting at 7.1%, which is still fairly high. The average, and I talked about this in the quality listing report, the average of the top 10 sellers, at least for jeans, was a 5% promoted listing. So if you wanted to be a little bit higher, maybe you promote at 5.1. Anywhere between 5 to 10, you're going to be good.
Okay.
And we can go into that in detail too, because there's a lot to promoted listings.
And then I had a question about one of my listings said it was unsold. So is there like a time limit that you have to sell something and then it's unlisted? Is that what happened to it?
I don't think so. Let me catch up on the chat because some people are asking about promoted listings, and let's come back to that because that's a great question. Misha asks, I don't think you should do promoted if it's rare. What do you think? I agree. The more rare an item is, the less competition. So a rare item is more likely going to show up under organic search versus Hollister jeans. That's a flooded market. So the more flooded or the more competition, typically then you will want to promote versus a rare item. So that's a great question, Misha. Like if you have, think about this. If you have the only item, you find this rare, you go to a garage sale and I don't know, Val finds this rare Native American piece of jewelry. It's one of a kind. There's no reason to promote that because there's no competition. Let's catch up on chat. Choosing God says, I don't believe that is still true. Starting an account for a fan member without a start. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thanks for sharing. So apparently you don't have to. Well, that kind of makes sense because this is a way eBay makes money. So that could be something. Maybe one week we talk about promoted listings and we figure out a strategy for you. But that's good to know. But you paid for the store. Just catching up on chat. Thinking about removing promotions. Misha says, having the SKU feature in eBay is great for me. It's a little thing. Yeah, we could talk about inventory. Like I switched over, like you can see behind me. Well, these boxes, I'm basically using my friend Chris's system, and it's like a file cabinet, and they go in a clear poly bag, and they have one of these stickers on it, and so it makes it really easy to pull the orders. So yeah, the SKU is a really good feature. Chosen Good says, I also will share everything on my Pinterest board when I promote, and they buy from that click. I don't. Okay. Oh, there's Clay. Hey, Clay. Welcome to the chat, my friend. Clay says he only promotes rare items if it's a rare piece of meat. I don't even want to know what that means.
I don't know.
All right. So I always shake my head with Clay. So what was the question again? You were talking about unsold?
Yeah. Is there like a time frame where they take it out of my eBay and it's unlisted? Like, why did that happen?
Okay. We would have to look at to actually know, but I think I know. So eBay has item specifics that you have to fill out, and eBay updates those probably twice a year in some categories, and they will require you to change certain item specifics if they make changes. And if you don't, when that item is set to renew after 30 days, if those changes aren't made, it'll go to the unsold section.
Okay.
And we could, matter of fact, if you want right now, we could take a look at it and probably get it relisted. I don't know if you want to do that or if you want to do that at a different time.
Maybe we'll save that for the listing.
Okay. And we could look at that when we do a listing and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it how it is, and we'll do that next week.
All right.
So with that being said, I don't know if you'll know my next question that goes with that. So if something is put in the unsold, was it ever listed and I just didn't know about it? That it wasn't listed, but if it did get taken off and I go fix everything, when it goes back up, is it going to be newly listed?
Those are good questions. So if it's in unsold, there's a couple reasons. Number one, like if you sold an item on Poshmark and it was also listed on eBay and you canceled that, it would then go to unsold if you did it yourself.
Okay.
So there's that. It's possible that could be it, but I'm assuming that's not it, or you wouldn't be asking about it, I'm thinking.
Right.
And then the other one is the reason I told you that if those required item specifics aren't correct, when it goes to renew, it'll go to the unsold folder. And I guess a third, well, no, that wouldn't be unsold. There's canceled items, which I also made a video on that, but that won't be in effect for the unsold. I think it has to be one of those two reasons.
Okay. I'll write that down. Next week we'll go look at my unsold.
All right.
Okay, I do have a few more.
No, let's go for
comparisons. Ratings on Poshmark. Like, no offense if anybody in the chat takes the Poshmark ratings to heart, but I think they mean nothing. Like, absolutely nothing on Poshmark. But I do see a lot of people who get very upset if they lose their 100% rating on eBay. Is that a big deal? Like, I have no idea. I don't even think I have a rating. All of those ratings, I think, are from me as a buyer.
Right. Well, this is somewhat of an opinion question to a degree. Like eBay will tell you it's not that important, but I think you have to look at it through the eyes of a buyer. Mine is at 99.9%, and for the longest I kept it at 100%. I think at 99.9, 99.8, it's probably okay. Like I have over 2,500 feedback. But when a buyer is looking at items, right? So if they're searching for a pair of Hollister jeans and there's so many they can choose from, they're number one, is your item showing up in search? What are they going to do? They're going to look at the pitch. I think they're looking at the pictures, number one, to see what it is. They're looking at the title. They're probably quickly looking at your description, and then which on your Harley, they're gonna have a headache. But
they're going cross-eyed reading my description.
They're going cross-eyed, but we'll get that fixed. And then some of them will look at your feedback. I don't think, and it's hard to know the numbers on this, but obviously some people are looking at feedback. And if you're at 100%, you know you're perfect, you're fine. I think if you're at 99.9, 99.8, maybe they click on your feedback and they're looking at all the good feedback,
Mm-hmm.
and they might click on the negative. But if you have 2,000 positive feedbacks and you've got one negative, I think most people are reasonable and they're not going to freak out. Now, if your feedback was, like, to me, probably anything below like 99.5, like I would want to get those fixed. And there are, of course, this is a big deal with eBay, right? Sometimes we'll get what we feel is unfair feedback. And when we talk about free returns or not free returns, one of the advantages to offering free returns is you get eBay feedback protection. So if somebody buys a pair of jeans from me and for whatever reason they're not happy, and there's a lot of reasons they can select, I just tell them, hey, sorry, return it, free refund. I send them. Oh my gosh, my stupid camera. You still hear me?
I can still hear you.
All right, so I'll keep talking. So when they send it back, I issue them a refund, and if they left me negative, what is up on my camera? And eBay, by their policy, will remove that.
Okay.
Sometimes I might have to reach out to a couple different reps, and I can also do that through eBay for Business on Facebook through their messenger, which is a really good. And if none of that works, we got the secret sauce. We have a guy, and now it does cost, and it is expensive. It's like $30, but this dude, 100%, 100 for 100. I've never heard of him not getting a negative feedback removed from eBay, and I've used him and he's worked. So I don't know if I fully answered it. So it does and it doesn't matter. Some people like to have 100%. Currently, I try to get feedback removed myself if I feel like it's unjust, which it usually is, especially if you offer free refunds. And I'm usually able to get it removed myself. Sometimes I may have to contact eBay a couple times. And if I absolutely can't, then I usually will use use the feedback fixer is his name, and he's 100% of the time got the feedback removed. So it does matter, but eBay will tell you it doesn't matter that much. But kind of common sense, like I'm not going to buy from somebody with 92% feedback and a bunch of negatives.
Right. Okay. I just wasn't sure if there was like a reward for having 100% or if they like punished you for or like eBay if they.
No, I think the
Okay.
big thing is the customers will punish you because they're not going to buy from you.
Okay.
What's going on, PK Zinc? And in the chat, I don't know if y'all have other thoughts on feedback. That's just my my take on it. The secret sauce, yeah. All right, Misha's in Texas. Feel free. Any other questions we can try to help you with?
Another comparison I had between the two was the searching. I haven't bought too much off of eBay, but like on Poshmark, I have purchased a lot of stuff over there. And like their search is really easy. Like you type in American Eagle jeans, and then on that sidebar, they like give you everything and make it easy. Like the style of jeans, the size, the color, the dollar amount you want to spend. But on eBay, are you just relying on your title?
Mm-mm. No, eBay also has here, let me show you. eBay also has what I call left-hand navigation.
Okay.
And let's see. So, like on these jeans we were searching. Right. So you type in Levi's 501. Now, you could fill this out as much as you want and it will narrow it down. But also on the left side, the buyer can
Okay. So they
search.
do have that. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and I use this a lot. I mean, I shop some on eBay, but like if I'm looking for sold listings, I will use this to narrow it down. Like the size is a big one. Like you could do the waist, the inseam, the color. whether it's new or pre-owned. That's a big one, and it will narrow it down. And so, like if you didn't, like I showed you how to do Terapeak, but you could also use this to price your item. So let's say you had a pair of Levi's 501 36 by 34 pre-owned. Like we could see what the market is. There's 505 of those, but how many of these have sold? 316. So that's a good sell-through rate. It's about 60%. And you can see my Snap seller tool, like Scott, Dumpster Diver Dad, told me about that. This extension is good. It's 53% sell-through rate, gives you the average sell price, but you can manually do this too. Wow, they got those for $6.29. And then you could sort high to low. You can see this vintage pair sold for over $200. And then you could sort by, oh, I actually clicked on the listing. You could do ended recently. So yeah, they do have that similar category search. And you can kind of get an idea. It looks like most of them are selling for 25 to 35, your average pair. And if they're vintage, obviously more.
Okay, so another question related to the customer searching. So in Poshmark, I think it used to start out, the title was how things were searched, and then later they added in description. They would pull keywords out of your description. On eBay, is it your title? Because I know people say the title is really important. Are they pulling any of the keywords out of your description?
They are. Well, the description is for Google, like for Google search, because some of your traffic, and we can go over an episode where we go over the traffic tab. Some of your traffic is coming outside of eBay, but most of it is coming from inside of eBay. So when they're searching via the search title, and that left-hand navigation that we just looked at, all that's created from your item specifics. So when you fill out your item specifics, that's why they're so important. And if you put in the wrong information, and like as I'm going through some of my older listings, especially when I had a VA service, hammock and sell hound, don't use them. They're horrible. Got a video on that. Check it out. They would put in the wrong item specifics that didn't match up with the item. And so when I look at an old listing that had 1,000 views but hadn't sold, when I see that, I already know there's something wrong with that. And when I go in to edit it, well, I end it, sell similar, and then I go in and see what's up. It's usually something like that, like an item specific will be incorrect, where maybe those are really 36 by 34 jeans, but on the item specifics, maybe they put 40 for the waist. So the buyer's like, what the heck? What they're looking for is not what is being showed to them. So those item specifics are important, and they directly are what you're seeing on the left-hand navigation.
Okay. And then I just had one more, and then I'm done. Returns and cases. Like Poshmark, you get a case opened up against you. You can fight it if you want to. Like I've had a handful of cases. If there's like a stain or something that I missed, obviously I'm just like, sure, Poshmark, you can send it back. But if it's for size, I try and fight it. But on eBay, it's just a return. That's all. There's no case at all. You just return.
Well, okay. So in general, I'll say Poshmark is better on returns than eBay, but they're not perfect. Like I had a pair of Ariat square toe cowboy boots that sold on Poshmark, and then the customer opened a case. They said there was separation between the boot and the sole, and they took pictures. There was no separation. You could tell the pictures there wasn't. I was like, oh, this is going to get denied, but Poshmark approved it. I got it back and I looked. It was just that. It was just what it looked like. Like on a pair of Ariat cowboy boots, they're not 100% flush. You can see the seam where the two meet, but it was fully there. But what I've learned is not to get upset on those. I'm like, okay, whatever. I just relisted them, and guess what? They sold for more money and had no problems. But Most of the time, Poshmark, as you know, is not going to allow a return for size fits or whatnot. And I know a lot of people on eBay get upset about returns. Now, on eBay, you can set, and we can do an episode on this. You can set your return policy. You can put you don't accept returns, but here's the kicker: people on eBay know they can put an item not as described. Basically, they can lie, and eBay will force the return. So that goes into your return policy. So I circumvent that by offering free returns. If you do 30-day or 60-day free returns, um, you pay for the return label, but it gives you some benefits like the feedback protection we talked about. You also get a 10% credit on your final value fees through eBay. So that in itself pays for the cost of the returns. And when you offer free returns, you're going to show up higher in the search, because as a buyer, they're going to feel more comfortable somebody that offers free returns, or at least returns, but ideally free returns. Now, with all that being said, on average, I ship out about 20 eBay orders per day. I get, on average, maybe one eBay return per day. It's usually less than that. I think my return rate is around 3%. So I think you got to look at the big picture. By offering free returns, I got feedback protection. I'm getting a final value fee credit of 10%. And I'm selling more items. And I know a lot of people like it. I understand it. And I used to be this way. I'll get really upset about these false returns. I'm like, I put the measurements, I do all of this, I take all these pictures, and you're returning it for it doesn't fit. And that's a little upsetting. But I changed my approach to eBay allows me to sell way more items. The number of returns is a relatively small percentage. And here's the other thing: when an item comes back, I relist it, and that item has sales history. Almost every single time after I relist it, it sells quickly. And I usually actually raise up the price because it's going to sell for a little bit more money. So if you switch your mindset to not taking returns personally and realizing it's just part of a business, like if we opened a store, like if you had if Val opened a brick and mortar boutique in Colorado, people are going to have returns there. It's just part of business. So yeah, I would not let that deter me, because eBay, you can make a lot more in sales.
Now, when you say free returns, does that mean you're paying for them to ship it back?
So, and this is where you don't want to offer free shipping, in my opinion. Like if you charge shipping, right? So they paid $5.99 shipping for first class. Let's say it costs $4 to ship. So you're making a little bit of money on shipping. They get it. Let's say it doesn't fit. They open a return. You offer free returns. It's automatically approved. They get the free shipping label automatically. You are paying for the return label of $5.90 or whatever it costs, like $5.99 in that case, or maybe $4 the actual weight. Now, here's the other kicker: a lot of people don't actually ship it back. Like they'll have, depending on your return policy, like I offer 60-day free returns, because here's the kicker: I want them to think they've got 2 months to return it, which they do. Most people, they're either going to return it within that first week or they're not going to. I would say probably about half of my items don't actually get returned. And after that time expires, then the money comes back to you. See, I forgot the exact question you asked, but oh yeah, if you have to pay for the shipping. So in that case, I would have to pay for it. But so when it comes back, I refund them their full purchase price. I do not refund them the original shipping that they paid. So really, it's a net even for the seller. They paid for the shipping to get it, which you got that money. You paid for the shipping to bring it back. So you get the item back. It's a wash, and then you resell it. So you do pay, but but if you offered free shipping, then you would be out twice, right? You would be out the shipping.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So that's another reason not to offer free shipping, in my opinion.
So that kind of answered another question I had. Because on Poshmark, how when you sell something and then the person has like 3 days to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like what you're saying with the returns. Like you offer them the 60 days and that's their window, their
Right.
3-day approval. And if they don't, then your funds are released.
Right. Exactly. And the difference with eBay, because what's the term they use for the payments, managed payments, eBay's managed payments, that basically when they pay for it, there's a little bit of lag time while the managed payments is processing their payment, usually a day or two, but that money is available to you pretty much within a day or two of them buying it. You don't have to wait until they receive it like Poshmark and then wait those 3 days. So you're going to get your money faster on eBay than you will on Poshmark. So that's another benefit of eBay and to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me catch up on chat real quick. PK Zinc says, I really suck at this tech stuff. I used to be a lot. My wife and I are full time, and we're down here in Killeen, Texas. Hello, hello. Saw you a couple of days ago. Dang, I wasn't in Killeen. Oh, on Chris's latest series. Yeah, we record a video with Chris Daily Refinement once a week. He's doing a 52-week series with me on eBay improvements. So yeah, you can find me on his channel. Chris is a great guy. Learned a lot from Chris. Down in Killeen, Misha sells everything at auctions, random. I used to be an everything seller. Now I focus just on clothing and shoes because I think you can build a bigger business that way. Not sure about that part.
Do you have any updated videos on your inventory?
My inventory system?
Mm-hmm.
That's in the plans. I think I'm gonna make one next week because actually that's the next video that's dropping on Daily Refinements channel. We talked about inventory system. That was an improvement. And so just like on my YouTube channel, and I told him this, like my thought is like whatever we talk about, because it's one thing to talk about it, right? On a video that if applicable, I'm gonna make a more detailed video. And so I'm going to make one on the inventory system, kind of showing the old system and the new system and talking about the problems on the old system. The new system is so much better. So yeah, I'm going to make one. And that should probably be going live later next week.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, inventory is so important.
And I'm always interested on people who do shoes, how they store it.
Oh, like it actually fits in this 30 by 8 by 8 box. I'll just quickly tell you, like either 10 by 13 or 12 by 15, usually a 10 by 13. Like this will, matter of fact, here's a pair of shoes. And I'm using a bigger bag than I should. This is the 10 by 15. The 10 by 13 works better. So these I put in the poly bag, and then I put an SKU sticker, and $13.93. The one before it was clothing. So
you mix them.
Yeah, you can actually do clothing, shoe. You could do all shoes. You could do all clothing with the system, and these go on the shelves in my storage unit, and they're numerical. So when I pull up the SKU of an item that's sold, it's quick to go to it and quickly pull it. And then every so often I consolidate these boxes. Maybe I'll put that in the video. I just did it this past weekend where, because they're numeric order, you just start consolidating these boxes. And at the end, you free up, like I did it last week for the first time in a month, and I freed up like 10 boxes because stuff sells over time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, high bid is good for auctions. Man, I used to do all that stuff. It is fun. It is interesting. I can tell you what, you can't make as much money doing, because the thing is when you do random stuff like that, number one, there's a lot of cons to it, right? Your storage space, The time spent on shipping goes way up. The time spent on research, because you're always selling something, goes way up. And I'm not telling people not to do it. I did it for a long time, and it is definitely more entertaining. But all that time adds up. Where if you streamline and become really efficient, like with inventory and listing and all these things, you could, like, by the end of the year, I'm gonna be listing over 50 items a day by myself on eBay. And if each item, I think my average profit's around $12 each. So that will generate a whole lot more money than selling, even if you sell expensive, like an expensive random one-off. I don't know. This model just works so much better. PK says, not sure if I already mentioned that, but again, I'm being boxed in by technology, and I'm an old guy that used to do stuff. Yeah, I don't know how I can help you with the technology. I'm not the greatest tech person myself. PK, I don't think Alton's in the chat, but Alton's our tech guy. My phone scares me when it rings. I'm like, oh man, just texting. Yeah, those are really good questions, Val. I appreciate the good questions. It makes it easier for me.
Thanks. I've got about 1,000 more.
Okay. How do you pronounce that? Vinny official? eBay has blocked my account. How can I come back? That we'd have to know more details. It depends on the reason they blocked your account. If you want to put more information in the chat, I will say this, that it is possible to come back from a blocked account. It comes down to consistent. It depends on why, and then just consistently contacting eBay, because every time you call eBay, you're getting a different person. And if you're nice and you're consistent, you can come back very possibly from that. There's Craig, Landshark Picker. What's going on, Craig? And Captain Opshop Nerd. Howdy. Misha, welcome to the channel. We're just talking eBay. All right. What you got, Val? What's your next question?
Well, my last one that I just jotted down was refunds on shipping, because like you said, I don't even remember what we were last talking about, but you said that, and then you can make a few or a buck extra on the shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Do you refund that? Because I feel like a lot of Josh, I feel like he's one of the resellers that I watch a lot. And he talks a lot about, it came up cheaper, so I refunded him. And that's happened a few times, but I'm like, I have no idea how to do that. I barely know how to list it on here and send it out to you. So I didn't know if that's important.
I do not. And there's a couple of reasons. Well, number one, like, we're talking about efficiency. So anything that takes time like that, I'm not going to do. I do flat rate shipping. So my item, if it sells a state near me, I'm probably gonna make a little bit of money. But when I ship it to the Northeast or to California, I'm gonna lose money, and they're not refunding me. They're not giving me extra money for the shipping. So overall, it kind of evens out. I would say on the bigger scale, I make a little bit of money on shipping. But then again, I'm also selling my items at market typically, or below market. So the customer, this is the thing, the customer is going to get a good deal if they want. And if they don't like the shipping charge, I offer best offer, right? Like, I've only had one or two people ever say, hey, your shipping is too high. On those rare occasions, I'm like, hey, I do best offer. If you feel it's too high, just send an offer, taking shipping into consideration that you feel comfortable with. And so maybe they can take a couple of dollars off their offer. If it's in my ballpark, I'm going to accept it, and happy customer. But to refund shipping, man, that's a waste of time. And as long as you offer best offer, I don't see any reason to do that. Like, no.
Okay.
But if anybody wants to do that,
been.
I mean, if anybody wants to do that, you're stand-up person. No, best offer. Just send me an offer a couple dollars less. And I also will combine shipping. And, I'll have people sometimes buy multiple items and they'll ask me, will you combine shipping? I'm like, yeah. So
Right.
maybe they buy 5 or 6 shirts. And then I'll send them an invoice and I will reduce the shipping to make it a better deal for them. So I'm definitely looking out for customers. I do coupons, I do sales, I do best offers, I do free returns. I try to make that experience because ultimately you want repeat buyers, and we can talk about
Hmm.
that sometime. Um, but no, I'm not going to refund shipping.
Okay. And that'll be a topic for next week as well. How to bundle on eBay.
Oh my gosh, I just had deja vu. That is so weird. That is weird. Yes, bundle shipping. We can talk about that.
I'm like
Uh,
terrified it's gonna happen. If it ever does before our next conversation, you'll be getting a phone call from me.
what's up?
If somebody wants to bundle, because I have no idea how
Mm.
to do that on
Oh yeah,
eBay.
for sure. Yeah, you can reach out to me with anything you need between the shows. Definitely not for everyone. I guess that's the refunding. Yeah, and anybody that wants to do that, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just explaining why I don't.
Mhm.
And
I don't, because I don't know how.
has somebody asked you to do that, or are you just thinking
No,
ahead?
no, I like, just as a new seller, I feel bad when it's like I'm making money off of them, and I'm like, well, I would like to give you your money back, but it's
Hmm.
not worth having to call Brian in the middle of the day to be like, hey, how do I give this person 50 cents back?
Oh my
Like you said, it's
gosh.
not worth the time.
Number one, I don't feel bad. Number two, 50 cents. Come on, guys. It's like you're already getting a good deal. And I think the key is the best offer. Like,
Yeah.
because they see the shipping. If you offer flat rate shipping, they see the shipping, they see the price,
Mhm.
and they can calculate. You'll see a lot of people have price buckets or price points where all in they don't want to spend over 20, or all in they don't want to spend over 30. And so you'll see some offers with like, you know, 1347. Like, why did they send that number? But it's usually they're calculating the price with shipping and tax, that they don't want to go over a certain budget.
Hmm.
Um, so they have a lot of control on their end. And like I said, I do best offers, and I think that really can offset the shipping refund. Oh no, Captain. Yeah, well, all right, all right. So
No idea.
yes, that is an easy solution. Do everything free shipping, right? That is easy. But like we were talking about with returns, um, if you offer free, it depends on what you're selling too, right? If you're selling a new item with a lot of competition, you may want to do free shipping. But for me personally, with pre-owned clothing and shoes, there's not as much competition for a specific item. And so I offer we talked about this earlier, but I do flat rate shipping. Um, because with those returns we were just talking about, also offer free returns. So if you do free shipping, free returns, you're paying for shipping twice, and you don't get the final value fee, you don't get the seller protection. Um, yeah, I would not want to do the free shipping for all those reasons. But if that works, that's great. Misha sells a lot of figurines and does combined shipping. Yeah, combined shipping's not hard to do. Free for everyone. Well, I'll tell you, I don't do free shipping. My sales are great. Like everybody in our group, Tech and Sports is the biggest pre-owned clothing seller on eBay. It's funny, like he does as much in sales his by himself, I think he says, as Reebok does on eBay. It's crazy.
Hmm.
And he does not do free shipping. So yeah, it's not. It's going to depend on the niche. Um, if you're selling new gadgets and there's a whole bunch of competition, then yeah, you'll probably want to do free shipping. But if you're selling a pre-owned clothing and shoes, you definitely do not need to do shipping. At least here in the U.S. Oh yeah, and I don't know what it's like overseas. All right. So was that all the questions you had today, Val?
Yep, that was all my questions for today.
All right. If
All
anybody
right.
else has any questions, drop them in the chat. And next week we're going to talk. We said shipping, and I guess within that bundles, right?
Yeah.
And so any specific questions you have on that, just jot them down, and then we can look at a listing. I think it's easier to show and try to explain the shipping. Like I'll show you how I do it and try to explain some other ways, and then we could talk a lot about shipping. I do think shipping is one of the biggest hangups that prevent people from getting on eBay, because Poshmark, Mercari, even Facebook Marketplace, they can make the shipping easier.
I mean, for 4 years, that's what kept me from starting on eBay was just the shipping.
Now we're going to help build you an eBay empire. Thanks for the comment, Misha. We appreciate it.
And thank you for all the shares. She shared it out a lot. I can see notifications popping up on my phone from her. Yeah, and a bunch of people in the chat saying that she sent them.
Yeah, appreciate that, Misha. If y'all haven't liked, smash the like button. If you're new on here, consider subscribing. I do videos on eBay a little bit more in depth on this stuff. It looks like a lot of people are coming from you, Val, but if you're on my channel and not on Val's, make sure you go over there and subscribe. She is going to be making more content. You want to tell them where they can find you, Val?
At Valamilk. I'll type something in the chat. Right there. Valamilk.
It's like kind of like chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Valamilk, chocolate milk. All right. Well, I guess that's it, guys. Thanks everybody for participating. Come back next week, same time, same place. We will be talking shipping. If you have any shipping questions, also you can find us on Spotify, the Reseller Roundtable, on where you find podcast, where we have I think 11 or 12 episodes. Yeah. So thanks everyone, and we'll catch you on the next video.
Bye.